let's kind of talk a little bit about exit options. So, uh, from my experience in just working with startups and building uh, venture-backed companies and lifestyle businesses, there's basically three ingredients that a startup needs in order to exit. Um, the first one is they have to be a profitable, repeatable business. That used to not be the case, but that is absolutely table stakes today. The second thing is what I call a level up capability. So this is something that an acquirer is going to buy that's going to make the acquirer better. So maybe your team is really good at selling on Amazon. Maybe you have unique distribution or retail relationships, or you have IP or patents that are helpful. So some sort of level up capability. And then the third is there has to be a very easy win, early win for the acquirer. So for example, if I'm a D2C brand and I'm in Target, but I'm not on Walmart, and the acquirer has deep Walmart relationships, that's a really easy way for them to take your revenue from 100 million to 180 million and justify paying the multiple that you're looking for. So those are kind of the three things I just wanted to kind of walk through and stack up to see, at least from my perspective, where Mejuri is.
I mean, do you think Mejuri is profitable? Do you think they have this kind of level up capability? Like, what is their expertise? Is it D2C? Is it opening retail stores? Is it, shipping to customers around the world? And is there like a clear, easy win for the acquirer? Probably depends on who the acquirer is, obviously, but I mean, do you think they're profitable?
I think that they're probably very close, if not already there. In other words, I think if they decided tomorrow that they wanted to be profitable, they could do it. And they may be deciding that they're leaning into growth or they're doing other things there, but I think they control their own destiny.
It's a good position to be in, right? What about their level up capability? I mean, what do you think is kind of their main strength?
Yeah, so I think that there's two big things. First, they are their own designers. They are dealing with some litigation right now around some potential copycats of if they copied someone else or someone else copied them. But they are their own designer. You can only get Mejuri stuff from Mejuri, and their retail stores could be repurposed, for the right acquirer to include other products. And so there's some interesting pieces there of again having your own in-house design, and then having a team that can operate 22 retail stores is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think they have a lot of strong capabilities, and the fact that they brought in, seasoned executives from incredible brands like Tiffany and Co. I mean, they must have really strong executives on their team. So I would say, like, okay, there's obviously some IP there. There's the team, and they have a retail presence, which is pretty cool. And I guess I'm curious, their jewelry is not sold into other stores really right now at all. I mean, it's all their own channels. Is that right?
That's right. You can only get it from them.
Which is really unique. I mean, most brands in today's world that have hit this scale are selling through, Nordstrom or Target or whatever big retailer fits their demographic.
Yeah.
So do you think they're eventually going to sell into these stores or just kind of continue to keep their retail presence?
It's an interesting thought. I mean, I think it depends on what the acquirer is and what they're doing. I think there's lots of optionality. So again, I think that they're close to profitability. They've got like a 40% repeat customer rate. They've got some level up capabilities that would enrich an acquirer. And then the third thing I mentioned was this early win. And so I kind of had fun with these ones. And I thought of three potential scenarios for an early win, depending on the acquirer. So the first one was a expansion of the Mejuri line into a large number of retail locations. So kind of exactly what you're talking about. If Sephora or Nordstrom's or even Walmart or Kohl's decided to buy Mejuri, they could then almost overnight take that line, those designs, and put them into their existing retail channels and probably do very, very well. And so I think that that is something that they're intentionally not getting into Sephora so that an acquirer could look at this and say, oh yeah, there's a lot of meat on the bone here. We could just do that and make our money. The second interesting thought was, they could help an acquirer establish a foothold into another adjacent category. So imagine if Ulta Beauty purchased them, then Ulta Beauty moves from beauty only to beauty plus fashion, which is a very adjacent, probably a lot of overlap from a customer base, and some synergies that way. Or if Viore or Lululemon decided to purchase them, they're moving from apparel only to fashion as well. And so there's some interesting pieces that kind of come into that. And then the kind of the third scenario was someone who wanted to acquire a retail presence in North America. So if there's a European or an Asian beauty or jewelry retailer without a presence in North America, they may feel this is really interesting to buy, 22 locations that are ready to go. They could, potentially move some of their other products in there, or just learn how to operate in North America.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And if I was their founders, I would probably rather sell than try to go public. I mean, you look at the comps for some of these public D2C brands, whether it be, Allbirds or Solo Stove and that whole roll up strategy. I mean, the comps are not good for publicly traded D2C brands. So my guess is their executives would lean towards a private sale.
Yeah, it definitely could. I mean, in my opinion, doing an IPO makes sense if you have a really defensible moat, right? A lot of the things that we talked about, the design could be a defensible moat. Um, so I don't know. It's a tough one. Obviously, if the founders, and the investors are looking for liquidity and they want to keep doing what they're doing, then yeah, an IPO makes a lot of sense. But no matter what, whether it's a private sale or an IPO, the cap table is going to change and the demands in the business are inherently going to change. And so there may be some reluctance to do either of those because they're really enjoying the ride right now.